Well, the Boston Marathon, it's a famous race and an incredibly challenging test of strength, endurance, and grit. Earlier this year, we told you about a Crystal, Minnesota man training for the race, not just pushing himself, but also for his father with ALS. The father and son pair shared a love for running, but when Jeff was diagnosed with ALS, everything changed. Still, their dream of running the Boston Marathon was something they weren't going to give up on, so they made a plan to take on the famous race together.
This was our, the closest bet we could get to spend time together as a family, do the race together. Running's been such a big part of our life that it's like, I don't want to give that up. I want, and I don't think Dad wants to give that up either.
They mean the world to me, and the fact that they wanted to do something like that, you can't hardly describe what it means. It's like the ultimate gift.
Well, they completed those 26.2 miles, and now they're here to tell us more about the challenges and triumphs of the big day. Here to tell us more about their incredible journey, Jeff and Mike Birkel. Thank you so much for waking up with us and sharing more about this incredible story. We've got some hardware to show off too. Fabulous. So I guess first, can we start off with talking about what ALS is for people who might not know what that is?
Yeah, so ALS is a progressive neurodegenerative disease that is 100% fatal in everyone who is diagnosed. There's no cure, there's very limited treatments for it, and basically you just lose function of all of your extremities first, and then it slowly makes its way inward, and that's kind of just the way it works. There's nothing to stop that.
And so we just did this race about a month ago. What was this journey like for you two, training and actually going through and doing it?
Well, the ALS journey's hard because, you progressively decline. But the Boston journey gave me something to focus on besides what's really happening to me, and a chance to do some good to the community that's been helping me out. And I tell people, I said, being in the ALS community is like being in the best club that you didn't think you ever wanted to join.
Yeah, it was a journey to kind of get all the way here, through a qualifier and train, but we had fun doing it. And, we spent a lot of time as a family together doing that, and we did really enjoy that.
Oh, I love that. I imagine you faced challenges throughout this journey. I mean, training for a marathon is no easy feat.
Yeah, it's definitely no easy feat. That's a good way to put it. Yeah, the long runs around Medicine Lake every week were, beautiful runs, but in the winter it's cold in Minnesota, so training for Boston is not the ideal time.
Right.
But when you go out there and you're running and you're doing it for somebody else, it's a lot different than doing it just for you. And so I was happy to run all of those runs for my dad.
Yeah, and I imagine it was sweet to spend time together too. I mean, long runs, it takes up a lot of time. There's some video of you two on the track there. What was that time like together?
Well, it was really special, when we watched some of the videos afterwards, I couldn't believe, like in that one, Mike's smiling and he's running up Heartbreak Hill, which is really tough, and he never walked. And it was wonderful father-son time, and older brother was in the race too, and ran up and caught us and then ran with us. It was a wonderful time.
Wow, that's sweet.
It was really fun, yeah. It was the first marathon we'd ever run together.
Yeah.
We had a fantastic time. The crowd was cheering for us the whole way. They knew his name because on the front of his legs we had a bib with his name on it. So for 4 hours, everybody was yelling his name and telling him he was doing great.
Oh my gosh, I love it. So we got a close-up shot of the great hardware here. Beautiful. This was about a month ago. What have you taken away from this race?
Well, what I've taken away from this race is I think my boys are pretty cool. The love and sacrifice. They had to train for 2 marathons in less than a year. And Mike didn't say it, but he had to run on the treadmill in the early days. And doing long ones on a treadmill is no fun. So I have wonderful boys, and I love them to death. And also, just all the support we received from the ALS community and the broader community, other people, and the encouragement and our sponsors and donors and the Boston crowd, the way they cheered for us like we were the leaders. It was overwhelming. And you know, I'm so grateful. I remember having the thought during the race, I wonder when you die and go to heaven if this is what it's going to be like. People cheering you on, you made it, you made it. And you don't even know who they are. So my faith in humanity has gone up a lot of notches.
You're making me misty here this morning.
Yeah, we're very happy to have done this. You know, we did it initially as a family thing to make memories, you know, while you still can make memories. But, you know, we've tried to turn this into something more positive for everybody who has ALS. You know, it's not the most well-known disease, doesn't have the most funding. And so, you know, we've tried to raise as much money as we can to help others with the cause. Because, like, you know, your diagnosis is very serious.
Yeah.
But you have limited time left and you can only do so much with your life. And you don't want to curl up into a ball and do nothing. You can do things like this and still enjoy times with your family. And so we kind of want to be an inspiration and give people hope that, you know, their life isn't over. Absolutely. They still have more to live.
Well, you certainly have been an inspiration. Thank you so much for joining us this morning and sharing more about your story. Congrats on this amazing feat.